Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Back to Basics series. This is August 2021. My name is Sonia Holtz. I am your Cfwc Communications Chairman, and welcome to our workshops for the California Federation of Women's Club. Today, we're very proud to present our membership team. Our second vice president is Sonia Matisse, and she will be introducing everyone to you in just a minute. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the workshop all about membership. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to see all of you. My name is Sonia Holtz. I'm the Cfwc Communications Chairman, and this is the Back to Basics series during the summer. This is August 2021. Can you guys believe that? August 2021. It's like this year just ran right by. So let's quickly do some things to make sure that you all can participate. Down on the bottom of your screen, you'll see a reactions button. If you'll punch on that reactions button with your mouse, I need to make sure that you guys can raise and lower your hands, please. We're asking that we do have someone working chat today. We want to say welcome to one of my teammates, Lou Arredondo. She is our California Clubwoman editor, and she is going to jump in and help me today because my friend Debbie was busy doing busy things that we all have to do, right? Okay, let's lower our hands. Thank you very much. Just really quick in the room, I need to make a list of the people that cannot raise your hand. Can you raise your hand physically, please, and let me know that you cannot raise your hand? Is there anyone in the room that cannot raise your hand? My second screen. All right, fantastic. We all get to participate today. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go down to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. There's a mute and unmute. We keep ourselves mute in our meetings because of the speaker play back and forth. We also use speaker view a lot, and if you sneeze, then you're going to be recorded sneezing. So we keep everybody on mute, so you don't have to worry about that. That kind of leads to the next thing, and then let me tell you, we actually, sorry, I'm doing everything right now. We actually are recording this to go into a public forum of YouTube. So be mindful not to share names, club names, your name, your birth date, your first child's name, where they go to school, your telephone number. You want to keep it on a very casual, professional level in a very ambiguous way. I'm sure you understand that. The next thing you want to do is if you have your dog run through the room or the guy comes through the door with a package from Amazon, you want to be able to stop the video and take that minute. So you go to the bottom left-hand side of the screen, there's something called stop video. Take the minute. Close off the screen. You're not leaving the meeting. You're not going anywhere. It's just fine. But then on YouTube, no one gets to see your pajama bottoms. So it's all good, right? Here we go. Okay, top right-hand side of the screen is a tiny little word called view. Now, view is your option. You can do gallery view where you see everybody in the room, or you can do speaker view, who is just the one person speaking. Today, we are going to be using Spotlight View. And so we are going to be spotlighting the speaker because we have 4 speakers. They'll be jumping in and out. Any questions before we get started? Deborah Bushnell, you have a question? No question. Okay, very good, my love. I'll lower your hand. Okay, so if you'll notice on my screen, I have moved all the ranking officers to the top left-hand corner. This is a great way if you're running a Zoom room for you to keep track of your the people that need to be introduced. And you always want to make sure that all officers that hold the ranking offices in your room get introduced. So we're going to start out with our second vice president of California Federation of Women's Clubs, Sonia Matisse. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Sonia. We have 2 Sonias now. It's kind of fun. Good afternoon and welcome to the Membership Officers Workshop. I'm Sonia Matisse, as she said, the CFWC Second Vice President. It's been my pleasure to serve as Membership Director and to work with the area Vice Presidents. And we are so glad that you could join us. The area Vice Presidents have a lot of information to share with you this afternoon. And we are going to begin with Cindy Sanders, who is the Area A Vice President. And she is going to share with you a little bit about ideas in helping your club attract new members. Thank you. Cindy?
There we are. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so wonderful to see familiar faces and a few new faces too. It's just always interesting when you jump on these Zoom meetings and get to see all these beautiful ladies that are joining us throughout our beautiful state. So thank you for taking the time for being with us this afternoon. My name is Cindy Sanders. I am your Area A Vice President. As most of you know, Area A encompasses most of Northern California. It's a huge area geographically, and Zoom has actually been a great ally of mine these last year plus. I've been able to do a lot of traveling through Zoom, being able to do some installations and attend some special meetings and different things. So Zoom has been great for me just because I haven't had to put too many miles on my car. Anyway, today I am going to be talking to you a little bit about how to make your club attractive to new members. So the first thing that we have to do, what we have to think about is, what is it that attracts people to your club? And how do you attract people to your club? People hopefully will be attracted to your club because it's a wonderful place to be and you're doing fabulous work in your communities, making the world a better place every single day. So how do you get that word out to them though? I always feel that Cfwc, Gfwc is the best kept secret on the planet. And we need to start sharing that secret just a little bit more. So how can we do that? Let me give you some ways to make your club a little bit more visible. As you know, we've had some workshops in the past and we've talked about the importance of marketing. Now, marketing is a strategy that's used by businesses and other nonprofit organizations successfully throughout the United States and the world. Millions and millions of dollars are spent on marketing. We are competing every day. We compete with other nonprofit organizations. For what? For people's time, for people's money, and their membership. You know, there's great other clubs out there, Rotary and Interwheel, Lions clubs, everyone, all these other different organizations that are also doing great things in their community, but we are unique. Why? Because we're the largest women's club on the planet. So we need to get that word out there to people and let them know who we are, and what we do. So how do we do that? We've talked about this before. The business card, of course, everyone should have a business card. They're very easy. You can even do these at home on your home computer and your own printer if you'd like. And we've also talked before about the importance of elevator speeches, or just a real quick blurb about what your club is. And of course, you also should be including your website information. All of your clubs should have a website or a Facebook page. Make sure and put that information on your card, because when you hand that to someone, you want them to be able to contact you. That's the whole idea. Contact me. I see somebody, I'm out shopping or something, and I see someone that I haven't seen in a while, and I say, hey, you know, what have you been doing? And they tell me what they've been doing. And then they ask me, what have you been doing? Well, yesterday I was on a Zoom call for Cfwc, and we did this fabulous workshop, and we have this great organization, and our club is meeting next week. Would you like to come and join us? And I hand her my business card. It's pretty simple, right? Well, then there's some other things that we can do too. I don't know if you knew about this, but I didn't know about this particular marketing strategy. It's huge in Japan. In Japan, it's called tissue pack marketing. And they actually have people that stand outside on the sidewalks handing out packets of pocket tissues. You know, you've seen them, little packages of Kleenex. Did you know that in Japan, they spend, I hate to even say these numbers, think about this, an estimated 4 billion packs of tissues are handed out in Japan as advertisements every year. Why? Because it works. So if it works there, it can definitely work here. And there's a strategy behind that, because if you hand someone a business card, it could likely end up in the bottom of the purse. It could end up in the trash can. Maybe it gets lost in the bottom of the purse. If it was in the bottom of my purse, it could be lost floating around there for a while before I found it again. But a tissue pack is something that is so easy to use, and it's something that's practical to use. So how do you make that a marketing strategy for your club or your district? Well, you use those handy dandy little stickers that you can buy just about anywhere, any stationery supply store or office supply store. And you have your club name or your name. You could even have your business card just, printed on the labels and stick the label on there. Because if you hand a tissue pack to someone, they're going to put it in their purse and they're going to get it out and they're going to use it over and over and over again until that packet is used up. And they're going to see that information on there every time they use the packet. And they're very inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon for maybe 15 cents a packet if you buy them in bulk. So I really would love to see the clubs utilizing this great marketing strategy that Japan started back in the 1960s. And why did they start that? Because the matchbooks were kind of going out of style. You know, people were kind of negative towards smoking, of course, which they should be. So all those marketing strategies that were put, all that information was put on those matchbooks, they kind of transferred over to the tissue packs. And they found that it was a lot more successful because people used them over, like the matchbox or matchbook. People use these over and over again until they're empty. So they see that information over and over and over again. And hopefully they'll contact your club and become a new member because of it, because of a tissue pack. Who would have thought? So simple. All right. Next thing I want to talk to you about is, besides business cards, elevator speeches, tissue packs, I did do a little workshop a few months ago talking about recycled yard signs. You know, we have elections coming up again, fall's coming up. We always have elections, it seems like these days. In California, we have a big election coming up, right? The recall election. So there's going to be some yard signs that are around that aren't going to be used anymore. They can be recycled and they can be used for so many different things. So all you do is you go down to Big Lots or your dollar store and you buy the big poster boards, and you can put your club information on there, your website information, maybe your Facebook information on a poster board, and you attach it to the recycled yard sign and put it out front of your yard. Very simple. Another thing that you can do, it's been quite successful for the Antioch Women's Club. They have a huge banner. They put it on their clubhouse, and they actually have 7 new members just last month that saw on their banner. And what did the banner say? Antioch Women's Club, making our community better since 1921, now accepting new members. How simple is that? And a contact information. And then after it hung on the clubhouse for a few weeks, they took turns putting it in their yards, just with a couple of T-posts in the ground, tied the banner to it, in people's homes that are in busy intersections or close to busy intersections, just to help get the word out that way too. Very simple way to do. A simple banner. You can get those online pretty cheap. Now, a few other things that we can do is we have the utilization of hybrid meetings. And I know that we've had a workshop about that, and we've talked about hybrid meetings. And the only bad thing about that is, of course, not being in person means we're not in person. So how do we include those that are Zooming in from home so that they feel like they're really part of the meeting? What can we do there? Well, I've been invited to a couple of meetings and I received these beautiful, very well thought out packets in the mail. Now, it's amazing what they fit into these little pouches. Let me tell you, I'm going to share with you right now all the fun stuff that's inside here. Now, this was from a district that was having a convention. And this was they used a mermaid theme. So this was a little mermaid that they sent out. Volunteers are as magical as mermaids. How cute is that? Thank you for being a CFWC mermaid. Isn't that adorable? So that was in the packet. They sent some lavender seeds and a little bee keychain. Save the bees, save our North State agriculture, plant your garden with sweet lavender. Isn't that fun? So what they did is they actually asked different clubs within their district to make these little donations of little gifts to be mailed out, is how they did that. They had a scavenger hunt. So they sent a list of different things to find in your home. And you could do this, maybe not a scavenger hunt if you have a hybrid meeting, because you can have people in person and at home, but maybe one of those treasure hunts when you find things that are in your purse, like your business card, just saying, and your Kleenex pack. Something else that's really fun and easy to do is to make some really cute little bookmarks. And these are really adorable. Someone went to a lot of work doing these. Shasta District Convention. How cute is that? And that's something that you can gift to people to make them feel special. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. That was included. And how many of you have raffles at your meetings? It's easy to include those that are home sitting watching from their living room easy chair. You just send out raffle tickets. Maybe you sell the raffle tickets to offset the cost of mailing out these cute little packets full of fun stuff, right? Great way to have a little fundraiser. And then of course, just information. I thought this was really a very cute idea. If you're thinking about doing a promotion within your club about scams, they're so popular right now. It's really sad that there's so many of them. I thought this was a really cute idea and relatively inexpensive, just in cardstock. Don't be a sucker, with a sucker attached. How cute is that? And then information about all the prevalent scams that are out there and how not to be scammed. I thought this was just really, really very, very clever. So that's a fun little thing. And then there's, pins and different things that are all included in this little packet. Now, it did cost $5 to mail. So you would definitely want to offset that probably with the raffle or something in that order. So there's just a lot of different things that you can do to make sure that your members that aren't able to attend your meeting in person, but choose to Zoom during a hybrid meeting, that they feel included. And this is just a great way to do it. Send out a packet of information, send the agenda, make sure that they have something tangible so that they feel like they're truly included. And this one basically has a lot of the same things also. A luggage tag, which I thought was really cute. I thought that was adorable, very useful. That is a great little fundraiser marketing strategy. And then this was sent out at Valentine's Day, so little Valentine's card. And ink pens. Ink pens are relatively inexpensive now. You can find those online also. I participated in a 4th of July parade, and we actually handed out cardstock with a pin such as this, and it asked people to please write on their calendar, save the date for the 100-year anniversary of the Tracy Women's Club, which is coming up in October. So that is kind of fun too. A lot of different things that are out there and available for us to use to make our clubs more visible. Now I'm running out of space to put all this stuff, all this fun stuff. And of course, hidden behind my hair, this is our Cfwc membership pin. And this is also a fun little marketing strategy, something that you can wear when you're out and about. And these are for sale through any of your vice presidents, your area vice presidents. They're on sale for $1 and they're absolutely adorable. And I would highly suggest purchasing for yourself or for your club members, maybe your club officers, something in that order. And I think that I have just about covered everything that I have on my list for today. So I appreciate you. Once again, I'm Cindy Sanders, the Area A Vice President, and I'm going to hand it back to Miss Sonia.
Thank you so much, Cindy. We really appreciate that. Does anyone have any question? Did you want to hand it to you, Sonia, or this Sonia? Sonia Matisse, did you want to go on to the next person, or do you want to answer questions right now with her?
I think it might be good to go ahead and ask now while it's still fresh in their minds.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Kathy, you have a question, please?
Yeah, I like that scam little card. What's the SCAM stand for?
Senior Cautionary
Action message.
action message.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A lot of
You're
great
welcome. Isn't that
information.
cute? Yes,
Very
don't be a sucker. Yes, and then you can contact any of your local police department or sheriff department, depending where you're from, and ask them what the current scams are that are affecting people in your area, and they'd be more than happy to provide that information for you.
Thank you very much. What a great idea. Linda, you have a question or a comment?
Yes, thank you. Cindy, you said that each area vice president had those B buttons.
Yes, ma'am. Aren't they adorable? They're
Well,
so cute.
I don't know. We've tried to get them. And so, but have they been replenished to anybody that has been out of them?
I have some. If you need some, Linda, you can send me an email. I'd be
Okay.
more than happy to ship them out to you.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Linda. Our next question comes from Sandy. Sandy, you have a question?
I did, but now I just forgot it. I'm having trouble getting my camera to come onto your video.
Okay, so we'll do that during help desk.
That's not, yeah.
It's an update and also something in your computer, so we can do that another time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Our next question or comment comes from Sheila. Sheila?
Hi, good morning, or sorry again, good afternoon. The project Save the Date, because we also are having an annual 100-year anniversary. What was that project? I didn't catch that one.
What they did is they used, during the parade, we handed out a cardstock invitation and we attached an ink pen to it. And so we just wrote the information on the cardstock, attached the ink pen, and handed it out. We handed out 500 of them during the parade.
Wow.
It was great. Yes.
Wow.
It was wonderful.
I hope we get to have a parade so we can hand them out. Thank you.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
All right, our next question or comment comes from Wendy. Wendy?
Thank you, Sonia J. Just to let you ladies know, some of us still have buttons and some of us will be bringing them to the September board meeting. So we have some to share. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Wendy. Next question or comment is Sandy. Sandy, you have a question or a comment?
I remembered what I was going to say. Are there handouts for this?
I did have one handout from Patsy, but they will be put into a Dropbox and put onto Facebook after today's workshop.
Okay, because I really love some of these and I'd like to pass them on to the club.
I understand. I did not get a handout from Cindy. Maybe she could throw it together for us really quick.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Of course. All right, lower that hand. Okay, I think we're ready to move. I'm going to go ahead and if you'll all mute yourselves, please, everyone that just spoke. Thank you very much, Sandy and Cindy. Thank you very much. Sonia, back to you.
Too good. Okay. Well, thank you, Cindy. As I said, and I'm glad you had some questions. Several of you did mention 100-year celebrations for your clubs. Be sure to send me your information. I would like to get some certificates made for you and to contact Gfwc. Also, they can, post it in their magazine as well as we should do it in ours. So other years, Temecula Valley Women's Club is going to be celebrating their 40th next month. And so in increments of 5, but 25, even 15 or 10. I mean, it's important. Please let me know what you're doing. So at that point, then we're going to go on to Patsy Wilson, who is the Area B Vice President. And she's going to be speaking to you on the importance of keeping members informed and also communication skills. I think she's got some very wonderful suggestions. So Patsy, here you go.
Yes, thank you, Madam Second Vice President and Chairman Sonia.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad to be here this morning. Thank you for you members who showed up to listen to us talk about the various topics that we have chosen. I'd like to say that this morning, I received a call from my new, I guess after 20 years, it's new, county asking me if I wanted to be a precinct worker for the upcoming California election. And I said, yes, I would be happy to do so. And I'm mentioning this because I spent 40 years in public service. And one of my positions during that time was the responsibility for the conduct of elections in Los Angeles County. I say it was my responsibility, knowing that I had, other managers that I reported to. However, I was responsible for the programmers who wrote the systems that counted the votes for Los Angeles County, the ones who reported the precincting, the ones who reported for the geographic redistricting. And I chaired the Monday morning walkthroughs in preparation for each election held in Los Angeles County. So I said yes when she asked me if I wanted to be a precinct worker. I felt that, I'm going from the top of the heap to the bottom of the heap. And this is change. And this change is what we, it fits somewhat in with the CFWC theme, change. And change is beautiful. And I expect to have a really, really wonderful experience with this change that I will be experiencing. This morning, I'm going to be talking about newsletters and personal letters. And I'm starting off with the newsletters. Excuse me. And I would like to say that newsletters are a great way to keep members informed about what's going on in your club. And you can tell the club members whatever you want them to know, any types of information. And I believe that newsletters should be free of charge to members, no charge. If you won't provide it for them at no charge, someone else will, because we have the choice of applying a fee or not applying a fee. And as Cindy said, we're the largest women's club on the planet. That means that there are a lot of differences in our organization, and you can find something that will fit you. These newsletters can report on the activities of your club, your district, California Federation of Women's Club, and General Federation of Women's Club. Oh, in my previous spiel, I forgot to mention that I am the Area B Vice President. And in my area, there is the Yosemite District, the San Gabriel Valley District, the Terra Adorada District, and the San Joaquin District. And I have been so fortunate to have a wonderful group of ladies that I have been able to interact with them. And sometimes we said, when we say it's been a challenge, you look at it in a negative way. And I don't mean this challenge to say it's been negative. It's been a challenge because it's given me the opportunity to think about new things, new ways of doing things, and meeting the challenge of meeting new people. And it's been wonderful so far. So I look forward to the rest of this year that started June. Back to my newsletter content. Your newsletter can be a letter of news for events and recognitions. Your granddaughter had a birthday, your granddaughter got her PhD from I was gonna say a major university, but a PhD from any university is a great milestone. You can include community news in your newsletter. Such things such as, I don't know, what is it, concert nights in the park that your city, I think most cities sponsor a concert in the park over the summer months. They also have night out in the park. And during the winter time, they have walkthroughs, wine walks through the community. You can put those kinds of things in your newsletter. You can also include in your newsletter the news of other collaborative organizations, those organizations that we want to interact with, the ones that have agreed to be our partners in various opportunities. We can also put such things as contests. We have contests that are that we may promote in our newsletters from our clubs, from our districts, and from California Federation of Women's Clubs. And these contests, sometimes I've experienced those where we had a dog beauty contest. We brought out our pretty little dogs who had just been groomed and had a little contest for them, had them walk the platform, and we chose the prettiest one. And they got a blue ribbon for their obedience. And I also put on my list that these newsletters can contain columns that motivate the members. It could be just a standard column off to the right or off to the left on the first page. And it's just like a one-liner that inspires a member to do something, anything, make them feel good, make them get out of bed. I've heard so many stories about people who, because of COVID now, they're staying in bed to 1 or 2 o'clock, and they just need a little motivation. And that motivation could be the ding on their computer that says, oh, you have a new newsletter coming out today, or it's not the newsletter, it's just a ping that says, happy day, happy Tuesday. And that will get you out of bed sometime. I've been receiving an 8 o'clock telephone call. I don't know who it's from, but I know that it's from a friend, and it wakes me up every morning. You can also include in your newsletter instructions on learning new leadership and new membership techniques. They can be I said new, they can be reminders of techniques that you've practiced in the past, but you forgot them. You forgot how they work. You've forgotten how interested in what impact they make on the members. So you can just repeat them in your newsletter, or the items that you think that you have, well, you haven't forgotten them, but things that you have heard from other members or from other parts of our organization. And I'd like to say that these contents and these points of information can be communicated in both a hybrid situation or an in-person situation. So it's not something that stands alone in one environment. We can just say, as I said before, it's just a very little simple, I like to say this newsletter is a motivational tool, it's a recruiting tool, it's whatever you want it to be, and it fits in our atmosphere of change. Okay, would you go on to the next set of slides that talk about personal letters? Through our personal letters, we, I don't know, with the use, we can write a personal letter on the computer, or you can do it in script, or you can just do it in bold print from your hand. But personal letters still make a great impact to everyone. And we can use them while we are learning to accept only excellence. And that is our goal. We take the good, we take the bad, we take the ugly, and it all works. When I talked about my experience doing my job, and it goes back to, I was going down the street one day, and on a telephone pole, it had this big sign that was talking about I think it was a local band or something that would be performing in the area. But the boldest letters on the sign was, "Just do it." So I stopped the car and I went and took the sign off the telephone pole, and I took it to my office. I cut all the other information from around it, and I placed the sign behind my desk, and it said, "Just do it." And whenever people came into my office with the small complaints or the small requests, I would turn around and look at that sign. And most times they would catch me in that act, and they say, "Oh, you just want me to just do it?" And I say, "Yes, just do it and come back with some kind of solution, some kind of answer, and we can work it out together. But don't come in empty-handed with nothing." And that seemed to work in my group, on my team. And we turned out to have a plus or minus 0.0 probability of accuracy in our efforts to make things right. But as I went along in that, I softened that approach to a little bit. And I changed it, and we worked it out together, and we decided that I would change my sign to "Make it happen." And we agreed that that was a little softer than "Just do it." And from now on, we want to just make things happen in my organization. But personal letters, letter writing sounds so simple, but it's not as easy, I think, as it used to be, for different reasons. Now we have the telephone. It's easier to meet and talk to one another in person, i.e. that was before COVID. And we have in the internet, we have Facebook, we have email vehicles such as AOL and Verizon, Gmail, and Yahoo, and Google, and all of those other tools that make communication easier than it used to be when you had a bottle of ink and a pen on your table. However, I did have to go out to Staples and buy a bottle of ink this week. Why did I have to buy a bottle of ink? Because I was lazy, I guess. Last year I had a job where I had to sign a lot of pieces of paper with my signature, and I ordered one of those ink pads that you just press down, and it gives you a simile of your signature. And I had been stamping my signature on all of these what membership cards is what I was doing. But that pad ran out of ink. So I had to, it was either buy a new ink pad or buy some ink. So I had the task of trying to find ink. And I said, well, why can't I just put this on the internet and send them an email? Oh, you're a member, here, it's the email. But they wanted a card, and I didn't want to write my signature on hundreds of documents. So we have changed, and we do things differently, but sometimes we have to go back to the old ways of ink and an ink pad. I would say a well-written letter remains a staple of our club's success. And it's one of the strongest connecting links that businesses and individuals and clubs and organizations have at their fingertips. And there, I have a whole list here. There are many ways that you might, or many reasons rather, you might want to send a personal note. One of the reasons is a thank you. These letters express your appreciation for thoughtfulness and generosity, rather than for the gift or a favor. The favor itself. You don't write the letter saying, thank you for sending me the brand new diamond ring. You send the letter saying, thank you for thinking of me and I love the gift. And then there is the incidence of sympathy. You send letters of sympathy and they are strictly necessary. All of us should always send a letter of sympathy. They are sent to the immediate family of the member who has died. Then we have the fundraising letters. They must pack the maximum of persuasion and appeal in the words contained within your fundraising letter. I said the maximum of persuasion, and they should probably not go over 1 page. And then there's the get well letter, a card, a note. It's to remind members that they are not alone during their troubles, illnesses, or hospitalization. You even send those out when they're in recovery from an accident or surgery. And tests, there's some tests out there that really scare us and make us go into, I don't know, and have really anxiety over them. You haven't had the surgery, but you want to go out, you've been scheduled for a test and you're nervous about it. Send the card to this member or friend that you know will be going through a test, even a medical test. Then there are the invitations. Invitations can run from a postcard to a fancy engraved one. And there's no sharp line between the two. There's no rule that says, oh, I have to send an engraved invitation or a handwritten invitation. It's the circumstances. And you send them to open houses, dinners, luncheons, receptions, conferences, and many other events that that a invitation is necessary. And we have congratulations notes. These are highly appropriate. When you take the time to remember a friend's good news, election to an office, or any celebratory situation, send them out a congratulations note. It reminds them that you are thinking about them and that they are not alone in this experience. They've shared it with you in the first place, so they're happy about it, and you should congratulate them about it. Apology. Oh my goodness, what about an apology? Procrastination on giving an apology, that just makes it more and more difficult. If you apologize right away, it's easier. Just don't wait to make that apology. You can write it down, follow it up with you can say it in person if the circumstance allows it, and be sure to follow it up with a written note of apology. Doesn't have to be long, just done right away. Resumes, we have these resumes that need to be done. These are facts about yourself and facts about the position that you're looking for. So you just tell about who you are and how you perform in these positions. And just be sure to be strictly accurate, because there are ways to find out if you lied. And it's easier to find out these days than there used to be. You've seen in the recent circumstances in the news how people have had to step down from various political positions because of the fact that they didn't tell the truth exactly. Then we have our announcements. This is I like to say it's a business message. And it has a format that should be business-like, that includes the name, the date, the time, the place, and the reason of the announcement, why the member might want to attend, and make sure you don't have any insensitive remarks included in your announcement when you make it, nothing negative. Welcoming new members. You type on club letterhead. You say how glad you are to have them join your club, and offer to help new members learn the routine. So happy you can join. Here we are to help you get acquainted. That should be included in your welcoming new member letter. Okay, there comes a time when we have to resign. Resignations should be done in writing. They represent you as a person and a member of the club, and should be carefully prepared. An example is, I'm sorry to inform you that due to a family illness, I must step down from the club vice presidency, effective immediately. That's a very simple, nicely written letter of resignation. All that's needed. You might add the date, of course, your name. Meetings. You send out a note when there's a meeting and when there's a change in the meeting schedule. That's an effective way of keeping your membership informed. Requests. You also write notes when there's a request being asked or needed. You're requesting sponsorship. You're requesting something from your membership. There's an application, and of course, volunteer opportunities. And you always have an agenda, and make sure that copies of that agenda is available to everyone. I had some more notes here, but I want to go back to, not back, but I'd like to say that I thought that I was making it effective for me to get my mail during the beginning of COVID. So I ordered my stamps online so I wouldn't have to bother my mailman. I tipped my mailman so that he would know that I cared about him, that he was working through the very, very beginnings of the quarantine for COVID-19. And since then, I get all of my junk mail every day. I get all of my business mail every day. And I raise the flag on my mailbox, which is curbside. And every day I get my mail that I'm sending out, picked up by the mailman and delivered to the person that I'm mailing it to. I felt that this was a common courtesy, and to let him know how I felt about the changes that he was working under and the new experiences that he and I would have to go through together. Madam Chairman, that ends my portion of the presentation. I know I went a little long, but I'm taking up for Marcia.
Thank you, Patsy. You had a lot of good points, but I think one that really stood out to me was the letter to the new member. I don't know how many clubs do that. I think we welcome them, but I think a special note, is really the way to reach people. Quite often, they really think they really do want me, and I liked that. So thank you. Are there any questions for Patsy?
I do not see. I do have one question from Wendy. Wendy, you have a question?
Thank you, Madam Communications Director. Ladies, I'm not sure how many of you may have signed up for the Gfwc Women's History Resource Center newsletter. And I would suggest that now would be an excellent time to check in with Gfwc and sign up for the newsletter. It comes to you electronically. Last night I shared this, that I just recently gotten the newsletter. One of the very first things in there was a letter written over 100 years ago from the daughter of a club member. She was also a member of the club, and she was talking, and her mother was president, and she was sharing her mother's trip to the meeting, and it was very enlightening. So it just kind of points up, there are many things we can share in a written note to someone. So who knows how it might get stuck in a minute book and become part of the record. But I think you ladies would enjoy seeing that. And it's on the Gfwc, a WHRC newsletter. Go to the gfwc.org and look online in the member portal and look for how you can join and get the WHRC newsletter. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Wendy. Our next question or comment comes from Patsy. Patsy?
Yes, Sonia, I had two pre-submitted questions that I submitted as part of my, my handout, and I'd like to read them. One of the questions was, where can I find a sample of a good newsletter? My answer to that is written, there are many good newsletters hosted on our Federation Club websites. The clubs that won the Cfwc 2020 Newsletter Achievement Award were East Valley Women's Club, South Bay Junior Women's Club, Lakewood Women's Club, and Colton's Women's Club. I suggest that you call them or visit their website to review a sample. Good newsletters from those organizations, as well as many of our other clubs. The second pre-submitted question was, I'm looking for a basic letter that can be used to request a donation. My answer to that was, a well-written form letter is not only acceptable, but effective. The majority of form letters today, the majority of fundraising letters today are form letters. Although you may not expect people to respond to a form letter, a generic request, these letters do in fact bring in large sums of money. Look at some of those that you received in the mail and copy one of them. I know that they get a lot of money, and you must know that too, because they keep asking us for them. I have a couple that I wanted to read that I know that they're getting a lot of money because they report in the mail that they're getting a lot of money, but I will not read it to you. It starts off with critical notice regarding your blank membership. And it says, this can't be true. Our team just pulled a list of every supporter who has activated their membership, and your name is missing. And it goes on and on after that. Anyway, like I said, there are samples out there, and for your good newsletter for CFWC, look to the ones who won this year's Achievement Award. And for your basic letter, look at those that come from the food bank, the City of Hope, and other organizations like that. They have good letters that are very effective. Thank you again.
You have 2 questions on the floor. Our first question comes from Kathy. Kathy, you have a question for Patsy?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment that the San Joaquin Valley District just started a newsletter this year, and it's an absolutely beautiful one. And if anybody wants to email me, I'd be more than happy to forward a copy to them to see what the district newsletter looks like, because it's absolutely gorgeous. Diane Waterhouse is doing a fabulous job on it.
All right, our next question comes from Linda Kuntz. You're gonna have to unmute, my love.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. Okay, one thing that I just wanted to mention when Patsy was speaking about the letters and form letters and such, I highly recommend, and I mention this all the time, anybody I'm speaking to, if you go to the GFWC website and you go to Style Book. Style Book has so much wonderful, useful information. They have examples of letters. They even tell you in Style Book how you should be when you're presenting, like when you're introducing the mayor from your city or whatever. And you can easily download it, have it on your desktop, and it's a wonderful reference tool. I use it and I highly recommend it. Thank you.
As the communications team chairman, I can tell you that that is an extremely valuable tool, and we have suggested it repeatedly. So go find it, download it, and use it. It really helps you. It does everything from logos, how to set up everything so that it's all done officially and correctly. It takes all that guesswork out of everything. So go and use what they've done for you. All right, so our next question or comment comes from Linda Kelly. Linda?
Good afternoon. It's so great to be able to see everyone, and kind of piggybacking off of Wendy's comment about communications from many years ago. We have a wonderful member from 1959. She was a member of a juniorette club when we had a juniorette club. And she was able to attend Norwalk Women's Club's 50th anniversary. Our 100th anniversary is coming up in 2022. So we're excited about that. And there was a wonderful poem that she had a copy of that she just shared with me. We have copies of it from the ladies of the Norwalk Women's Club at that 50th anniversary event. To the Norwalk Women's Club members of 2022. It is a wonderful, wonderful poem, and it's priceless. So we're really excited about that and being able to share that with everyone. So yay. Just wanted to share that.
Oh, sorry, your speaker's playing on mine. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. So with that, you are always welcome to share poetry like that. If you want to send it to, you can send it to all 4 of us, Pam, Barbara, Sonia, and myself, and we will make sure it gets to everyone that would like to read that and share that with you. So thank you for bringing that up and introducing us to that subject.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go back to Sonia. Sonia, you have another team member that you would like to introduce?
And our last one today is Wendy Kieran, who is the Area D Vice President. And she's got some an interesting topic. Everything old is new again. So here she goes. Miss Wendy.
No, you're muted, Wendy. I lost her.
Hey, Wendy. Wendy.
No, she disappeared for a second. She must be having a, are you there, love? Because you went dark and you muted for a second. So why don't we just take some more questions for a minute while she pulls back in? It must be, her connection must be looping. Anyone else have any questions for, how about anyone else on the team? Sonia? Any?
No, I'll unmute myself. We were going to touch on some of the clubs, you know, and the positive reports that they have had. But unfortunately, Marcia Willett, who's the Area C Vice President, isn't able to join us. Something came up at the last minute. So, and I know she would be here if she could. So I don't know, perhaps we could touch on if you have any questions on questions about when you reported for membership, or did anything come to mind that you have a question about?
Okay, fantastic. So we have Sheila has her hand up. Sheila, did you want to address that question or were you going a different direction?
I was going in a total different direction and I totally forgot what it was when you asked me.
Well,
so Area C is not there. Is that what you're saying, Sonia?
That is correct. Thank you for understanding on that. So we're going to go ahead and lower your hand, Sheila, and mute you.
I will.
Still no.
Thank you. I'm sure Wendy will be back in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and just, does anyone have anything in the membership arena that they'd like to share with the group?
I do, Miss Sonia, both Miss Sonias.
Okay, Cindy, hi.
Hi there. As Sonia Matisse mentioned, the area VPs, the four of us, well, three of us, not counting Marcia, probably Marcia has her own, but we were invited by Miss Marcia Willett to send her some interesting, what we thought were interesting reports from our areas. And I just wanted to share one of mine that I thought that I had sent to Miss Marcia that I thought was so absolutely creative. And this is something that really gives testament to the fact that we are club women and that we are resilient and we do embrace change. So back towards the beginning of last year during COVID, one of the clubs in Northern California, you know, you could not get a manicure or pedicure or a fill to save your life, right? It was impossible. So they decided to invite some local ladies from some of the nail shops that were closed to someone's backyard with social distancing and masks and every other protocol that was appropriate for their area. And they invited prospective new members and current members of their club, and they had a mani-pedi day around someone's swimming pool. And they set up chairs and extension cords for all the equipment, and they just had a fabulous day. And they ended up actually getting some new members from that, putting that event together. And I thought that was just brilliant. So that was the idea that I had shared and sent to Miss Marcia to be shared with everyone today, because I thought that was really showing how you can take a bad situation and make it good, how you can make change to benefit others. And boy, I tell you, those ladies were lined up to get those mani-pedis around that swimming pool that day. It was great.
You know what, Cindy, the other thing that really strikes me with that example is that, you know, we're not allowed to touch each other, and that's giving you that opportunity to touch each other in a very kind and nurturing way, and giving someone that love in a way that's safe. And that I'm sure that made those Women's Day in a very big way. So thank you for sharing that. We have two questions or comments. So we're going to go ahead and open the floor for those. Rita, you have a question or a comment?
Yes, thank you. I have a comment. In the Patsy's presentation, it said that we should not charge for newsletters. I agree. However, we found in San Gabriel Valley that we needed to charge those members that were willing to get it mailed to them, because somehow someone's got to defray the cost of the stamp, the postage, and the printing. So we had, I guess, the newsletter lady figured out the cost, and then she lets them know ahead of time in the beginning of the year, you're going to receive 10 of these at you know, whatever cost it is. And it could be $6, $8 for the year, but that's how they pay for it. So that's always something to remember, because, and in clubs, this could be an expensive thing if some club members just are used to getting it in the hand and not willing to get it by email.
I don't mean to disagree, but I think she said you had the option.
Okay, yeah, you do.
Yeah, and I think she was very thoughtful in saying that if you need to understand that some people do need to charge for mailing reasons.
Right.
Okay.
And in fact, it should somewhere it should be noted, like when they get their membership. I always say when I'm talking to somebody for the first time, you know, we have an email newsletter we can send you. How would you like to receive it, email or by mail? Just for the first time, you know, just for them. And then the other thing too is when the emails go out in the clubs, they make sure that they use blind copy and not a massive, you know, you get 100 names of club members. Use your blind copy. We're getting too many scams and too many things happening right now with everybody's emails coming in together. So that's all
I just have one added on to that. That is an absolute excellent thing, but you may have to teach your presidents how to do that, or your newsletter people. So be open to that, or come into the help desk and I'll show you how. The other part of that is please do not reply to all, because you're opening that conversation 900 times and then everyone memorizes your address and your response. So be very aware that when you reply to all, you just want to reply to sender. So just be mindful. And if you want to learn how to do that, help desk is on Sundays. So thank you, Rita. Very, very important points. Thank you for bringing those up. And
I'd like,
Sonia, so our next comment or question is Sheila. Sheila, you have a comment or a question?
Sonia, what were you going to say?
I was just asking.
You'll probably forget, or I will.
Okay, well, I love being a membership chairman, and when I get a new member, I give them this GFWC folder, and they're not really expensive. I have a whole bunch of them. I have the history page. I put a newsletter and a membership book, and I just fill it off full of all kinds of goody things, including our Be Happy pin. And I just let them know that, you know, the whole purpose of us is because strength united is stronger. I can't do it, but with you, I can. And that's one of the things that I love about GF.
Thank you, Sheila. Very nice point. What a sweet lady. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand. Our next question or comment is Colleen. Colleen, welcome.
Hi, I just wanted to share one comment. What our club does on the newsletter is we tell people, give us your email so we can send you the newsletter. If at that point they say, oh, I don't have email, or I'd rather get it printed, they go on to a list. And what we did is we got one member who has a business and she sponsors it every month. She prints all those newsletters that need to go out and pays the postage, stuffs them, mails them, does everything. And so we have a little blurb in the newsletter thanking her for sponsoring the newsletter mailing. So that's one way we've handled it. So it doesn't cost us anything. Yes, it gives a little promotion for her business because she's a realtor, but I think it's a fair exchange. So that might be one way some clubs could consider doing it.
You know what, that's an excellent point. The Bonsall Women's Club had someone doing that. And in the Vista Club, we have a banker that stepped in and said, you know what, don't worry about it. It's 10 copies. It's not a big deal. So just, you know, there's always a way to make it happen. So thank you for those suggestions. And Pat, you had a question or a comment, and then we're going to go right to Wendy after that, okay?
I'm sorry, excuse me, just a comment. I mean, we're an organization that is in change, and I think we should start beginning to advocate. I know we have evening sections, but I think we should advocate for the formation of some evening clubs, and maybe clubs in district changing up a little bit and doing some things on Saturdays. or in the evening for those working members. There's lots of women out there that want to participate in their communities, but they work during the day and can't attend a day meeting. So.
Thank you very much for that suggestion. I know that there are clubs that are creating nighttime sections that can meet and do projects at night, and we appreciate those clubs that are acknowledging those members that need to meet at night. So thank you again for those suggestions. So now, Wendy, you're back. We're so happy you're back. Thank you so much. Just if you wouldn't mind reintroducing yourself for the tape so that they can pick that up when they watch you on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonia. Ladies, thank you for your patience. One is never prepared for when you move the mouse and your screen goes blank and the computer goes off. I promise I didn't touch anything. So I think it's Big Brother out there working. So just be careful. Anyways, thank you for your patience. I'm just going to briefly let you know, I first joined a women's club in 1987, the Grand Terrace Women's Club. And my mentor for many years was my dear friend, Pat Nix. And she served as CFWC president. And I happened to be the club president one of the years while she was the state president. Some of my most fond memories are driving with Pat. She'd call me and say, "What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing next Tuesday?" And I got a real hands-on opportunity to hear a lot about CFWC. And I miss her terribly, but I try to do the same things that Pat did for me. So with that, as I've said, I've served as a club president. I've been a recording secretary. I've been the fundraising chairman. I've been on a bunch of committees, all for the projects that we do. And I will tell you, I love doing this. And I think that's why we all join. So today I'm going to share some different things with you. And my title today is Everything Old is New Again. Now remember that catchy little tune? That's exactly where we are right now as we start to emerge from the confines of the pandemic. I know you're asking yourself, what does this mean for us as club members? Starting with that old familiar phrase, "We've always done it that way." That's what keeps us in the past. Yes, we recognize that tradition does have a special place in our hearts. However, we have truly broken the mold in the past year and a half. Many of us kept commitments to our communities and charities, even through the shutdown. We didn't do it as we've always done. We found new solutions. Now is the time to ask questions. What can we do right now? Is there some way that we can help? And what can we change to make our efforts reflect what needs to be done? Exactly. Everything old is new again. In a nutshell, we may not be able to return to what was always done. Evolving with the times will take input, effort, and balance. I hear you asking how. First, each club needs to look at where you are right now. Can you meet together? What about safety protocols? How are you planning your meetings? Oh, and what do your finances look like? In other words, begin to establish how you come back together. Even if your club has been active in a new way, you will need to make sure all your members are encouraged to be involved. This may not be easy to do. So recognize it and lay the groundwork for your success. Second, members. Yes, they are the key to your success. What do your members want? Have you asked them? No, not just the board members, all your members. Develop a quick survey to ask what their interests are right now. What would they be able to offer? Is that help or time or donations? And you know what? What about picking up the phone and calling them? Send out the survey. Offer them the opportunity to have input. Yes, the key to your success is keeping your members informed and honoring their input. Recognize that as you go forward, it may not always be how you've always done it. That's okay. Who knows? Together you might make some new traditions. And remember how to connect with your members. Patsy talked about newsletters and writing letters, phone calls. What if we activated that good old standby, the phone tree? Yeah, I hear you saying, oh my gosh, something old, but make it new. How about selecting 5 or 6 members in your club? Each of them have 4 or 5 members to contact, and they keep calling them and keep updating them. Then, of course, emails, and let's not forget that card in the mail saying you're looking forward to seeing your members in person. Third, follow through. This is so important, not just for planning, but for your success. After asking your members what they feel is important, create or assign chairs and committees to get the work done. Collate the information and share that with your members. Yes, the club will need to debate and come up with a plan, directions for the committees. After coming up with a plan, don't forget to talk about the means. What will it take to complete your projects? Be realistic. Having a budget that requires a great deal of resources will be a burden. Create success by planning for a project budget you can afford, whether that means funds, volunteers, supplies, or time. You might even need to downsize a favorite project you've always done. Maybe that project success will lead you to a new way forward. As you complete your projects, gather and save information, whether it was a success or needs improvement or revamping. I think you know where I'm going with that. Going forward, you will want to know what worked or what could have been done better. Even projects you've always done will need adjustment. Just be open to it. Okay, here's some new thoughts. Some of you have heard about hybrid meetings. Okay, now don't be scared. We're not creating a new monster here. Let's talk about the reason why. Your club's starting to meet in person and expand and open up for more members to be in a particular place at one time. You're hoping to get back to normal. They want to be able to eat a meal together and converse safely. Zoom has given us the ability to meet safely, getting club activities going again. What if there was a new way to share the meeting in real time with members who cannot be in attendance? Members that want to know what took place and wanted to hear the speaker. The answer could be a hybrid meeting, an opportunity to expand how your members can attend meetings. Let's think about your club. Do you have members who work during the business day? Members who are not comfortable in meeting in person right now? Members who have an impediment to attending a meeting? And members who have childcare obstacles? A new solution may be that we utilize advancements via video and recording to accomplish this goal, the hybrid meeting. Simply put, a hybrid meeting is one that includes both physical and virtual or remote attendees. And one interesting new type is to host a meeting where your speaker is remotely appearing. Think of all the great speakers you could share with your members. Hey, wait a minute. I think we had a couple of examples of this at our May convention just recently. Remember our Gfwc representative, Wendy Carricker, and the speakers at the Emeritus Club who talked about getting wigs to people that are cancer survivors? What about the author at the ESO meeting who shared her book with us? And in that book was some information about one of our early CFWC presidents. It was her great grandmother. So many other options we have already seen. Now, I don't pretend to be a guru about this new style. I'm just presenting some basic information to start the conversation for your clubs. The CFWC communications team had an excellent back-to-back workshop on hybrid meetings on July 19th. And on August 7th, the communications boot camp was pretty stellar. Both were recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. I encourage all of you to check out those videos. They had great handouts that included exactly what each club might need to offer these kinds of meetings. Every level, there's 5 levels, starting at 0, which is the basic level, all the way through the really advanced level 4 meeting. Everything that you will need is included in those handouts for you to determine what's good for your club. Our CFWC communications team is there to help you in your club. The team, and the team also shared a very interesting little tidbit. Write this down. If you're recording a meeting at your club, remind your members they can't sit and snip about what's going on because the microphones are very sensitive and they'll pick that up and it'll be on the recording forever. Okay, I encourage all of you to have conversations with your members about the idea of hybrid meetings. Again, we find ourselves on the horizon of new way to have club meetings. Not every club may do hybrid meetings at an advanced level. And hybrid meetings may take time, effort, willingness, and financial help to become a reality. Right now, let's start the discussions, continuing on our new path forward. Now, many of these same issues and examples can be applied to your district, just on a larger scale. Think of all the possibilities. Yes, everything old is new again. Just ask a women's club member. Thank you, Madam Sonia.
Thank you, Wendy. That was great. Are there some questions for Wendy?
Yeah, nobody wants to do a hybrid. That's it.
Oh, I think we can do it.
I think we can. I think we can.
Thank you for talking about that, because if you have any questions, you can go to those videos. Linda Kuntz, you have a question or comment?
Yes, thank you, Sonia. Wendy, when you mentioned regarding if you're recording, like we always do, Sonia here. The other thing also, and I believe Sonia mentioned this quite a few times, is that your members, if you're going to have, whether it's one member in the club or it's somebody at the district or whatever, that's going to be taking pictures, and we all know that lots of things go on Facebook, it is so important to make sure to let everybody know the pictures you're taking are going to go on Facebook. And if they don't want to be in the picture, then they need to step out of the picture, because there are people out there that they don't want their faces on there, even if their names are not mentioned, which is usually the case. They just don't want to be on Facebook. And that's so important to do.
In one of the packets of information that the communications team did, we handed out an example of that, of how what that looks like. You just keep it very brief. They say yes or no. You keep a list of the no's. You remind everyone at the speaker and you let them step out. And that will give you a chance to get those photos that you need for your publicity. But thank you for bringing that up, Linda. Our next question or comment comes from Kathy.
My question is basically, if you don't have Wi-Fi in your clubhouse, what are some options for a temporary solution if you want to try to do where members that can't attend or somebody out of town wants to see it? What are, because I had a hotspot and I tried it last weekend at my house in Fowler. It kept kicking me off. And I finally just canceled a meeting I had in the afternoon because I said, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to try it. So what are options beside hotspots if you want to try to do something at your clubhouse and you don't have Wi-Fi?
Okay, Wendy, do you want me to field this one?
You know, I was gonna throw that over to you, Sonia.
Well, thank you very much. And I don't mind, because as a photographer, and I also do event photography, so I travel the world doing event photography. So I often need a hot spot. What I use is a satellite hotspot, and I just pay per minute. So it's something that will work anywhere in the world, but it'll also work if you're in the middle of nowhere in the country where, you know, in Bonsall, I do struggle because I live in the middle of nowhere. So I use it here at the house when it's really important that I have it. I can look those up and I can put it on Facebook this week and give you some suggestions. They are not cheap, so it's something that you definitely need to budget, and you need to be mindful that you might just want to do the 30 minutes of your speaker versus 2 hours of just talking and milling around and doing that kind of thing. But you guys can figure that out with your budget as you have time. But you can always jump into help desk and I can help you find something for yourselves in your club. All right, our next question is Lynn Robinson. Lynn.
Hi, I just wanted to say that at our club, Torrance Women's Club, we did a hybrid board meeting the end of July. And we're going to do one in August, and we're talking about a hybrid general meeting in September. Although some of my ladies are getting cold feet with the numbers rising, so we're kind of working that out. But the board meeting went well. We had a few glitches, but you know, we'd never done it before. It was an experiment. We figured the board meeting was a good place to experiment. We have a great techie person, Mary Alessandra Cook, and she had bought a microphone and a webcam, and she had her notebook and I had my notebook, and I brought my projector, but I had forgotten that I had not used this projector with my new computer, so there were some glitches, but we have since talked and they're friends now. But it was, you know, we had a couple of glitches here and there. It took us longer to get started with the meeting, which made a few people unhappy, but we said, hey, you know, we all knew this was an experiment and stuff happens. And so for the most part, the ladies took it pretty well. And I think, what did we have, like 10 in person and 14 on Zoom, something like that.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, we get asked often how we manage that on Zoom convention of 300 plus. Pam had 17 people in the room and we practiced twice before we ever made it public. So be very aware that these kind of things are not done. I practice with my team all the time. So meet ahead of time, practice, run through, laugh your way through the mistakes, because technology is technology and it's not going to work every time. And just be willing to try again next time, and your members will totally be grateful for it. So thank you, Lynn, for your comments. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand. Sheila, question or comment, please?
Yes, hi again. I have done hybrid meetings and they're really coming out great. However, I was at one for one of my clubs, and the president, we could see everybody fine where she had put it. We could see all the people, but then she decided to make us in the computer as part of the audience. And so then all we could see was the backs of the people. And that didn't work too well. But with my hybrid meetings, I have a microphone. This here costs like $15. I hook it up and then I can put it over so that the people talking on Zoom can hear each other and the people talking in the audience can. It's very inexpensive and it works really great.
Good
Thank you,
idea.
Sheila. Good idea. Those are all those things that will make the difference between it working or not working in the future. Thank you, Sheila. Rita, you had a question or a comment?
I did, I'm sorry. I've always been able to get the internet off my own phone. So I went into one of the clubhouses and she said, we don't have internet. So I said, well, I have it on my phone. So what I did is I turned the internet off my phone. It's T-Mobile. I turned that service down and it will just go into an automatic internet. And then I toggle it off my own phone. So I become the hotspot. My phone is the hotspot for the computer. And we didn't have any glitches or anything. We did do a hybrid meeting for the alumni meeting and it went really well. I thought there was no problem. So that's another way to go around it. And I do that at hotels because I don't want to interfere with hotel service and get their internet and their people. So this was just off my own phone.
So what you're suggesting then is if we need a hotspot, maybe we call one of our providers and ask them if that's something we can upgrade to, or one of us already has it, because you have to have that in your plan. And you want to have an unlimited data plan so that you're not using all of the minutes that you're paying for and then end up in the $1,000 range.
Yeah, I don't pay minutes, but
okay.
Yeah,
so just so that everyone knows, before you jump in and offer a hotspot with your data plan, understand if you're not unlimited, it could be very expensive. So again, we can help you walk through that.
That's
okay.
Good to
Thank
know.
you, Rita.
I didn't know that. Mine is just a basic plan.
Okay, very good, Rita. Thank you so much for your suggestions. Catherine Chu.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. A wonderful idea, Rita. I was thinking either that or maybe using or going live, like if you have, and I know the California Federation's Facebook page. I don't think you have gone live yet on the Facebook page, but I would love to see how that's utilized. So if anyone has done, I've done it for other events, but if like there is a speaker for a 20-minute speaker, maybe going live on your district page or your club page so that members go on to your Facebook page instead of going into a Zoom room, that they're just able to, I know the advancements, the Gfwc advancements page, they do the live 20-minute videos as well. So that might be another suggestion.
I love that suggestion. We have thought about it many times and talked around the tables. The one thing we struggle with is we have about 25% of the women that aren't on Facebook, if not more. And so we want whatever we do to be equal for everyone. And that's why we chose YouTube, because we can edit it, make it perfect, put it with everything and put it out for everyone to see on any kind of service situation. But Catherine, you have Facebook, go for it. Give it a try. Send me the link and I'd love to jump in with you and see how it goes for your district.
I will. I might even try YouTube because I think you can go live on YouTube as well. I know Instagram does, but I'll check it out and I'll let you know.
Thank you, Catherine. Okay. I'm going to hand this back to Sonia. Sonia.
All right, well, thank you. If there aren't any other questions, and you can ask in any areas of membership, if there's something you've been thinking about. I know I had a call this morning and it was in regards to the program that GFWC is having. If you gain 3 new members and it needed to be sent to them by September 1st, which is very close. Our book, the CFWC yearbook, states to send it to me, but if you could send it direct to GFWC, and I can give you that information to Tina Robles at GFWC. And the promotion really, you're not getting any particular prize, but you will get some sort of notice. It will come out in the GFWC magazine that you brought in 3 new members during the last 3 months prior to September 1st. So I don't know if that works for any of you, but the clubs are the ones that should be reporting this. They know right away, and you just have to send the name of the person who recruited them and the names of the 3 members who joined and their date, and I think also their addresses. But I think it's a good way to just sort of concentrate on, let's get 3 new members, because at the end of the year, you're going to be surprised, especially if you can follow through for that whole program. So are there any questions at all?
We have a comment from Wendy.
Sure.
Thank you. Madam Second Vice President, I'm curious to know how many of the ladies, the participants here, have gone to the GFWC membership booklet online through the member portal, have maybe read through it all. Oh, I don't know how many pages it is. I'll have to pull it out. But you know what? There is a wealth of information in there. And if we're not, as we work at our clubs, if we're not including and reading some of that, and much of it talks about getting recognition for club members that bring in 3 and 5 and 10 members in a year. Why aren't we doing something to honor their commitment to that? So I wholeheartedly, at the beginning of the term, I always go in and print the membership handbook. And that way I have it so that if I have a question, I don't have to pull up the internet. I can just go to the pages. And mine is marked, if I pull it out, mine has little stickies all over it and notes, but it's an excellent resource. And maybe it'll give you some ideas. Thank you, Madam Second Vice. Oh, and I forgot to note earlier, a birthday girl was on the screen, somebody that had their birthday yesterday, August 16th. And her name is Barbara Briley Beard. And I think I saw her in here earlier. So,
I think we have to sing, don't you?
Oh, I think so too.
Oh, everybody unmute. Let's sing.
Happy birthday to you.
Ready?
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barbara. Happy birthday
Big huge
and many more. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, thank you. There she is, birthday girl.
Okay, so let's go ahead and mute everybody. And Sonia, if you don't, oh, I have a question from Sandra. Sandra, you have a question or a comment?
Yes, on that membership handbook, is that CFWC or GFWC?
Wendy.
Hold on, it's the general.
It's the GF.
General, GFWC. And if you're not signed up for the member portal, the question is why? Call Tatiana at headquarters. Remember, there's a 3-hour time difference. So if you call her at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not going to get a hold of her. You know, call her 3 hours ahead of our time. And Tatiana will walk you through it. It's such a great resource, ladies. The whole website, as is CF, but GF has lots of things that we can draw from. Thank you, Sandra. Missed you last night.
Oh my God, don't even get on there. It's like I started a project at 3 o'clock, thought I had lots of time and didn't. Sorry.
So hang on just a second. Let me start the recording. Stop it.